It says my audio is off, live performance audio off. So I'm not sure how that's happening, but hey. The sun is out. Here in Michigan, holy cannoli. We actually have the sun out. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for popping on, whether you're on YouTube or on Rumble. You are all very much appreciated. I got some really good feedback, some good ideas from people over the last week, and I hope everyone's doing well. So today's little feed that I got, the little bit of information I got, was a little different. So I don't know how open people are. I know some people are very closed-minded about certain things, especially when it comes to sexual energy, and that was kind of the thing I got early in the week. It's kind of saying. But oh, stop. I'm done. All right. So really, it said that all of our energies we hold within us are sacred, all of them. And it's kind of interesting too, what's been popping up on feeds. And I got this a couple of years ago about plasma and about the different astral bodies that are plasma. Of course, this is all hypothesis and conjecture. Sorry, I'm bumping the table. My chair doesn't fit under the desk. Anyway, uh, so yeah, plasma and then bioplasma. These, someone said that the energies that we're having come in and are maybe you feel have like your circadian rhythm is off. I know mine is. And it's, oh, I've always been that way. Then you've probably always had your bioplasma siphoned, very possibly, if that's something that you believe in. Whether you believe in it or not, probably going on. So one of the things that, just to kind of clear that up, it's really talking about prana. And the different areas that are being siphoned off the most are on the more, on the, I don't want to say lower, but the more earthed or closer to earth. So that would be like root, sacral, and right where your diaphragm is by your belly button. I'm sorry, I don't remember. That's just not coming to me because I got all this other stuff running through my head. But anyway, that's kind of where it's being siphoned into and off of, and that's our grounding. That's probably why a lot of people have been hearing, make sure you go out into nature, get grounded, but also be very mindful about what happens to that energy or that grounding source that you have, that's once it's into your vessel, how you're going to manage it, how you're going to store it. And I know that there are different belief systems and whatever fits for you. That's, I think, what we're going to have to do to maintain the clarity up here. This has all got to be connected from top to bottom. But the thing is, I think there are going to be a lot of things coming out that are, it's going to challenge, especially some of the normies. That's why I think we need to be more mindful of people that, and I don't like that term, people that just aren't awake to the fact of the siphoning and the creepy deepy stuff that goes on about siphoning off the different energies, the rituals that are probably not the best. Let me see, where did I leave off? So there is one energy that is above all the rest and something that we need to protect, be very guarded about, consider it the most sacred because it's the most powerful, it's the most base, for lack of a better way of putting it. So this concept is coming through, and I said today, but it was last weekend after I did the other live. So it might sound a little prudish. A lot of societies, what they call in the West is, promiscuous. Yeah, so you know what I mean. So the most sacred energy of all is that of sexual energy. So why do you think that the sacred, sometimes when I dictate into this, It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's not hysterical. It's historically multi-dimensional part of the human condition and has been under attack and releasing biotoxins into our field. And I'm talking about, you know, all fields, whether it's a farm field or your energy field. And it affects our sacred energies. All of them are sacred, but one is most sacred, right? That's why they have promoted promiscuity in all its forms to separate us from that, to make it more available to them. Because once we release that, that provides an opportunity for that to be siphoned. Not saying don't, just make sure you're protected, right? So speaking plainly, I'm thinking of, okay, so they've released biotoxins that affect our sacred energies. So one of the things that I know that is also coming out and is going to become more prolific, those people that have had certain lifestyles were really in the United States. It was really highlighted, I think, in the 80s when they were talking about AIDS. Of course, we're talking about, you know, another V thing. It's researched and becoming more well-known in 2020 shenanigans and the subsequent follow-up that these cures that the powers that be are providing contain the very contaminants to contract this particular V that was really like highlighted in the 1980s. So where do we go with this? Where do we go with all this sacred energy stuff? And how do we keep it sacred? And how do we protect ourselves? Well, you know, hey, there's always that, I mean, the safest is, of course, celibacy. And a lot of people don't want to go there. I mean, you have someone in your life that, hey, ain't gonna happen. So if all of us, and just because you have a partner doesn't necessarily mean you're not vulnerable. Keep that in mind also. And I don't even know if I'm meant to go any further with that, but that's kind of what I got. And okay, so I'm being told to look at some of my notes. Those are things that we will be talking about tomorrow night. I will be on something else. And there's something about runes, silver runes on a black bridle. I see a very thick, it's very wide leather, and it's very thick, heavy. And the horse's head is like I don't know if Andalusian, if that's accurate or not, but it's very shiny. The horse is very shiny and it rotates this way. So that from my orientation is clockwise. And I also noticed too that the swearing in of the 47th was, granted the weather was cold enough to do it. Hasn't been done since I think 1985. But it was done in the womb. Inside of that rotunda is also known as the womb of Isis. So take that for whatever it means to you. It might mean something different to other people. But it's a very complex building. It's a very complex image on the ceiling. So yeah, I mean, I got all into that on with someone else. So anyway, so yeah, Rob on Typical Skeptic last week. Having said all of this, which may or may not make any sense, how can we protect our sacred energies? And I think plasma, bioplasma, they're going to bring this up a lot. I've been thinking about it for the last few years. trying to understand what it is, how it interacts, its energy. They say it's electromagnetic, but I get magnetoelectric. So take that or leave it. I get it. It's because everything seems to be reversed. That kind of came out that it's not electro, it's magneto. The magnet is more prominent, more is the base or the foundation. Probably because it's toroidal. I just got the image of like a bar magnet and how it has the poles and it has the toroidal fields on each end. And so it can harvest this north and south. It's not about negative or positive. It's about maintaining both in balance. And I know there's been a lot of talk about, you know, again, harvesting things from the earth to make energy for living here, but there's an untapped, renewable, ever-present energy that they're totally ignoring, and it's that plasmoid energy. Someone else also mentioned that there are plasmoid beings in the upper atmosphere, the ionosphere, and that when you start getting closer to that, because that's their realm and they're starting to manifest here where we're at, doesn't mean they're coming down. I think we are going into their frequency. It's not a distance, it's not a physical distance. It's an existence that we have that's an expansion. It's not a rising, it's not an ascension. This is an expansion in all dimensions. That, I mean, I could sit there and talk about that for the next 2 hours, but I won't do that. I am going to cut over to the table here in a second, and the camera may or may not. Well, nah, it's gonna twitch, y'all. It's gonna have its little fit and saying, "Why did you do this to me?" But we're gonna hopefully look at moving forward with protecting our energy, all of our sacred energies, and remembering to keep them clean, to do what we need to do to keep them clear and functioning. When we do that, because the efforts right now are to separate us from that ability to connect. I'm not going to say tap. We are connect. We need to have that connection. You can have that connection, but it could be clogged. So we all have the connection. So let's clean it up. Let's do some house cleaning. So anyway, having said that, how can we do that? And we'll go like that. And I also want to, I'm gonna put over here some of the, what you call it, the crystals that I had and some of the things that I've been working on and with. One of the prominent metals I think are going to be copper. And I know they poo-poo aluminum, but I think that's also going to be really important. And of course, everybody's got their eye on and has had their eye on things like silver and gold, but I think copper, and when I look at this, it's almost like even the aluminum, even if you got something that was aluminum and copper colored, you're going to still draw in some of it. It is going to be a little bit different. Just know what you're buying if you do buy something. I made my own star coil jig, rodent coil. Let me get over here to the camera. Let's switch that. And sorry, it's going to be a little twitch. There's my coffee. So this is my rodent coil. If you want one, you're going to have to send me an email and let me know. Sorry, I'll try and stay closer to the microphone. I'm trying to get a better setup. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. And I've been using a lot of negative energy or energies that don't serve me, because honestly, I don't want to start, I don't want to start using that terminology, negative, positive, because I think it all serves a purpose. It's all here for a reason. So this is jet, and I'm going to put my coffee down here. Hopefully not make too big of a mess. And this is hematite. So you can see the difference. And also I have in my pocket, I have some black tourmaline. That's not what that is. What is this? Tourmaline, it almost looks like muscle. So all of these will basically do the same thing. They will draw in and possibly make use of what we're being exposed to as far as the darker energies. These are all very, very clearing, as is the clear quartz. You want to amplify any of these, and if you don't know how to make one, either reach out to me and I can show you some pictures of how I did mine. If you want me to make one for you, just reach out and we can work something out. Okay. But these are awesome. They're great manifestation tools. 100%. I'm going to set that over here in my little bowl. Put this guy back here, my hematite back here. I'm going to put this over here. And I'm putting this one back in my pocket. All right. All righty then. We are always ever so grateful because we always draw from the field of one and the unified field, because it is, oh gosh, I'm tearing my place apart again. Because it is the original thought, it's the original word, and it's the original sound. This allows us to clearly hear, clearly see, and what's that last one? Clearly speak. That was kind of interesting, wasn't it? So I've already cleared the cards. I've cleared the table and reset everything for us to get an idea of what it is that's going to be helpful for us to be able to work with the current energies and be able to better and more quickly, more efficiently recharge our own batteries. Okay. All right. So I haven't, that's actually not like a real, it's crystal, but it's glass and it's dark blue. You can't really see it. And it has aluminum flake in it. People call it, if it's gold, they call it goldstone. It's not, all it is crystal glass with aluminum flake in it. It's not a natural crystal. It doesn't mean it doesn't have power, because they do. And a lot of it has to do with mysteries of the world. Intent means it's huge. Intent is huge. So what can we do? What can we do to help us manifest, maintain? Because this is all about us feeling more whole, more connected, not just within ourselves, but with others. It's about community. It's about community. Check that out. It's about realizing who we are. That's the emperor, reconnecting with nature and knowing who we are. And it's not doing it by ourselves. That is with ourselves and with someone else, even if it's with our higher self, if you don't feel like you've got somebody you can trust at this point. And that's it. Got 3 more out of that. Wow. So there's another 2 for us. That's a twofer. It's a twofer. Sometimes we look outside of ourselves and think that we are we're outside of that reach. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate. Oh my God. All righty. There you go. So this is also very earthy. So this is 3 2s out of the same deck. And I shuffled them, last night, and I cleanse everything in the morning. And so, I mean, wow, right? And I think one of them came off the bottom, a couple of cards in, and there you go. 2 2 2 2. Hope that's significant. You might want to look that up. This is about partnership. This is about breaking out, losing ourselves from that suction. Losing. Let's not be that hermit anymore. Let's reach out to other people. Wow. There's so much. It's like a swarm. I know they're fish, but to me that was like a swarm, and it's a tunnel, and it's reaching up. It's like everything is there. It's either outpouring or pouring in, or both. 2s are also for balance. New beginning. Again, very earthy. Very, very earthy. Right? These are all that's not going to come all at once, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to be rapid fire, but there is something speedy is going to come in. That's a roadrunner, and that's communication. I believe in the original intention for the 8 of Wands was incoming love, and we were talking about our energy and how we're spending our energy. So this is about the love of friendship, companionship, not just about the sexual energy part. This is about, okay, family, neighbors, friends, whatever your cohort is. Thank you. Wow. That was kind of fun. So this is very much related to that ammonite. So, and I haven't used these in a while, and sometimes they kind of call out and they go, hey, don't forget about me. So let's have at it. It's a very sunny day in Michigan, but it's cloudy. It's clouded up again, believe it or not. I mean, I haven't really seen a good bit of sunshine here, and I don't know. We've had some rain and snow, and not really rain, but it's been a mess. It's been a mess. Okay, one more. Is that it? Okay. Let's put the ammonite back. So the first one that flipped out is chaos and conflict. And it's 33. So what can we learn from that? So we're shedding. Through the chaos and the conflict, we're shedding the old. We're shedding the old. We're bringing in the new. We're bringing in the new information. And it's going to come from within and from without. And it's going to provide us with a new beginning. Because we have everything that we need. We have an abundance, a bounty. We have the strength within. We have the partnerships that we need, right? And we need to be aware that It's not about time. People are trying to say that time is the fourth dimension. I don't believe it. The more I look into it, it is part of where we're at because it delineates a cycle, but it has nothing to do with a dimension. I know people will argue that, but really what it is people get hung up on it too. And look at how this, we need to shed this. Look at this. Look at how similar the shedding of time is with that other creature. I don't even know if that was, it's not a zebra. It's actually, it's a zebra body with, it's the zebra shedding its stripes for the giraffe. The giraffe. Its markings are now looking like a giraffe. That's pretty awesome. How does that work, right? How does that work? Maybe we'll get our answer here. Okay. So it puts us between worlds. We might kind of feel that right now as we're trying to tap into all this other stuff. We might be trying to tap into all this other stuff and it's not really quite, we're just not quite feeling it. We're feeling a little disjointed. We're not quite ourselves, right? Even when we look in the mirror, we're going, who is that? Right? So we're kind of feeling a little between worlds. How are we going to fix that? Wow. All right. So the yin and the yang, I believe the yin is the feminine and the yang is the masculine. And the feminine is that thought-provoking feeling. So we're going to have to use God, why did that keep coming up? Discernment, right? We're going to have to tap into that discernment to move us from being between worlds, managing that chaos that we feel is here, and getting more into these types of energies to breaking out of this, you know? Well, I think that's it. That was fairly tidy. I am going to turn the camera off here for a hot second. If it'll let me do that. There we go. And I'm going to scooch you back over where I was. This is very awkward. I'm getting situated so I don't have to deal with this every week. So let's go back to where I was. Okay. So that was it for today. I think we have a lot of things, a lot of tools within ourselves that are available that we haven't really picked them up yet. We, you know. So this is going to be a very interesting, for some reason, 13 months. And for some, it's going to be 13 weeks, and some 3 years. So I don't know. This is timeless. So whatever that means to you, for you, I hope this was helpful. And I will see everybody on the flip side. If you have any questions, any comments, please do let me know. I'm available on Rumble and YouTube, and hopefully I'll be hanging out with Rob, Typical Skeptic Podcast, in a couple of 3 weeks. And we'll have some fun reading some cards for some people. So be kind to yourself and try connecting with, and keep yourself safe.